I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope, right? Show me the way. Oh, God.
That was a scene from It's a Wonderful Life, which reminds us that sometimes life isn't always cheerful and happy during the holidays. In fact, it can be the most stressful time for many of us and even lead to some to consider things like suicide. We talk about that being at an all-time high this time of year and depression. But thankfully, we have a dream team of family and relationship experts here to help guide us through the challenges of the holiday season, including those holiday blues. We have therapist Emily deAyala with us, Shayna D. Lewis, and teaching pastor Craig Reynolds. All right. The Second Baptist Church, I might add. Okay, let's go to our audience member, Nicole. You had a question we talked about earlier about just kind of dealing with, family situations and divorce, which is a reality.
Okay, my question was, how long after a divorce should you wait before you get into a serious, committed relationship?
I don't think that there's necessarily a magic number. I mean, if someone wonderful comes around, you don't want to necessarily pass up an opportunity just because, someone told you, never get into a relationship until it's been a year. You really just kind of want to assess yourself and see where you are. How much of you is maybe holding on to the relationship? How much of you might still be angry about the relationship? How open is your heart to meeting someone new? And that can really vary. I mean, sometimes, marriages are already over long before the divorce happens, so that could play into it as well. So there's no magic number, but I think just kind of being self-aware about what your readiness is for.
And we were talking about during the commercial break and also having to separate, especially this time of year, whether it's that person's really someone you really think could be good for you or you just want somebody.
Right, and there's a real danger of that, because if we feel lonely, because especially single women or single people during this time of the year feel the pressure of, well, I need somebody.
Because everybody else is with somebody.
Right, everybody else has family, and you may find yourself tempted to just latch on to anybody that shows up because for the fear of being alone.
Yeah.
But you were saying earlier, it's rather to have nobody than somebody
than the wrong body.
Right, have the wrong body. That's right.
I'll get on my soapbox here for a second. To me, here's what I would say to that person in a situation this time of year where they're looking for a relationship. I'll get on my soapbox, okay? To me, the best place you can be is involved in a local church where you have a community around you of people that love you, care about you, and will pour the truth into your life and help you through that difficult time, because there are thousands of people in our city in that same situation. My wife directs a class for single moms in our church, at our campus. And it's amazing. There are incredible needs and there are lots of hurts, but there are lots of people that come alongside of those gals and help meet their needs. Even at this time of year, I could tell you all kinds of stories about needs being met.
Because that's really what they're looking for, is that sense of value and love, and it doesn't have to come from necessarily a romantic relationship.
Absolutely, and wait until God shows you the right person. Don't rush a relationship.
Because you get in the car and you turn on the radio and there's that song, "Met my old lover at the grocery store," right? And all those types of songs. All right, let's go to Alyssa, who's on the phone right now. Good morning, Alyssa.
Mr. Lane.
Alyssa, can you hear us? If your name's not Alyssa, I'll still talk to you. Good morning, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning.
There you go. All right, what's your question or comment?
My question is, I'm a single parent, and I was in a domestic violence relationship, marriage for a year. Yes, I can. Good morning.
All right.
And,
go on.
Yes. And my oldest daughter, she was really into it, and she lost a lot during Christmas time because he stole and did things and took all the gifts and everything. But now I have a 6-year-old that's also for him. And now he's like, for Christmas, he wants to buy Christmas gifts, but he does not want to send them home. He wants to keep them with him. And we live in separate states, so she doesn't see him but maybe once or twice a year. She's not going to enjoy those gifts, but I can't get him to see that. What should I do about that? Because she wants her toys at home with her.
Yeah, of course. And we see that happen a lot. For some reason, you think if you're buying the gifts, you don't want the other parent to at all enjoy them in the house with that child. But there's a serious conversation that needs to take place here about that child, right?
Yes, I think so. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning of that statement that this was a violent relationship, And so, and I'm guessing that this could be another way of control, because that's what violence is all about, is control. And if we give a lot of life and energy to that, then we give in to the wiles of what the individual is trying to do and control.
Yeah.
And so,
Are those toys really worth it if it's part of the game?
absolutely. If it's part of the game, is it that important to play it for that? No,
You
I
really
don't
just got to
think
say,
so.
if you really want your daughter to get these toys, and I will put your name on it, I will say, this is what your daddy sent you, then send them. If not, then she just won't get them.
There you
You
go.
know, and that's unfortunate. Email question from Doug. He says, I have 2 kids who live out of state, and for the holidays, we spend Christmas on Skype. My ex tries to make me feel guilty about not spending the money to travel, but times are tough. Does that make me a bad parent?
Absolutely not a bad parent. One of the things that's important, especially when you have families that are divorced and separate, living in, you know, different cities or states, is that there's conversations that need to happen very early in the year. We can't wait to October, November to say, so what are we going to do for the holidays?
Yeah.
If it's really important to have something where we're all together, or the kids get to go with the other parent, start that in January. How do we plan for that, budget for that?
Yeah.
And so we all equally have a part in taking care to make sure that occurs if that's important.
Yeah, but you know, the other thing he says, I spend it with him on Skype. You know, if you're Skyping throughout the year, you're still communicating with them throughout the year.
It's not devalued because it's Skype.
And again, trying to make somebody feel like they're a bad parent in this instance, if you know all the details are there, just that he just doesn't have the money, then again, it's back to that hurts of the divorce of how can you just do this to the other parent. As long as your kids, you're communicating with them and they know.
Right.
Because kids know the truth. I mean, anybody who's been in it, they know the truth. They kind of go, okay, mom, or okay, dad. Right? But they get a different type of relationship oftentimes with a parent than those couples do. All right, don't forget to log on to Facebook and let us know, what is the #1 thing you dread during the holidays, or your pet peeve? Is it that regifter, that person you kind of go, you know, this just looked like you. Yeah, it does look like me because I gave it to you last year. All right, we'll share some of your comments throughout the show. And our experts are taking more of your calls coming up. If you have a relationship question, 713-284-1055.